Also, the expectations are really high coming from last year. I didn't know what to expect, and now there's a standard coming in every day, and just bringing energy and working hard. Angel Reese got humiliated by a Chicago Sky reporter and won't believe what happens next. The world of women's basketball has always been a stage for fierce competition, bold personalities, and transformative moments that ripple far beyond the court. But few moments in recent memory have sparked as much conversation or controversy as the public unraveling of Angel Reese's narrative as a central figure in the WNBA's meteoric rise. Angel Reese kind of things. Online during interviews, the Chicago Sky star, known for her relentless rebounding and unapologetic bravado, found herself at the center of a storm that exposed the gap between her self-proclaimed impact and the cold hard reality of the numbers. And just when you thought the drama couldn't escalate further, a seismic shift in her role with the Sky added fuel to an already blazing fire. This is the story of a player caught between her own hype and the undeniable star power of Caitlyn Clark, a saga that's as much about basketball as it is about identity, ambition, and the unrelenting scrutiny of the spotlight. Let's rewind to last season, when Angel Reese, fresh off a national championship with LSU, stormed into the wnba with a chip on her shoulder and a narrative to sell. She wasn't just a player, she was a phenomenon, or so she claimed. After LSU's victory over Iowa in the NCAA title game, repositioned herself as a co-architect of women's basketball's newfound popularity. She declared that the sport's surge in viewership, sold-out arenas, and celebrity-packed sidelines wasn't the work of just one person, namely Caitlyn Clark, but a shared triumph with her own star power playing an equal role. It was a bold statement, one that resonated with her fiercely loyal fan base and cemented her as a polarizing figure who thrived in the role of the villain. But here's where things start to get messy. Bold claims require bold evidence, and Reese's assertion was about to collide with reality in a way that would leave her scrambling for answers. Fast forward to the Chicago Sky's press conference to kick off the 2025 season, and the air was thick with anticipation. Reese, now a second-year forward, was expected to build on her rookie campaign, where her rebounding prowess had earned her headlines in a legion of supporters. But the mood shifted when a question cut through the room like a knife. Did she still believe that people were watching women's basketball because of her? The question wasn't malicious. It was a direct call back to her own words, a chance to double down or reflect. And what happened next will leave you speechless. Last year, you made a powerful statement saying the reason people are watching women's basketball is not just because of one player, but because of you too. A year later, do you feel like your next question? Yeah, we'll move on. Thank you. Reese, with the weight of her own narrative hanging in the balance, uttered two words that echoed louder than any highlight reel. Next question. The room froze. No defense, no stats, no swagger, just a swift dodge that spoke volumes about the disconnect between her claims and the truth. This wasn't just a moment of discomfort, it was a crack in the foundation of her carefully crafted image. But hold on, because this is where things take a shocking turn. The numbers, those unforgiving arbiters of reality, tell a story that Reese can't sidestep. Last season, the Chicago Sky home games averaged a modest 8,000 fans per game. Respectable, but hardly the stuff of a cultural phenomenon. Compare that to the Indiana Fever, where Caitlyn Clark's presence turned every game into a sold-out spectacle, packing over 17,000 fans into Gainbridge Fieldhouse night after night. And it gets worse. Reese's much-hyped preseason homecoming at LSU, where she should have been greeted as a conquering hero, drew a paltry 6,000 fans to an arena that holds over 13,000, not even half full. For the return of a national champion. Stick around, because this next part is where it gets really interesting. Her other preseason games were even more telling. A Chicago Sky home game against the Minnesota Lynx mustered just 4,600 attendees, while a road game in Minnesota drew 7,600, most of whom were likely there to cheer for the home team. These aren't the numbers of a player driving a revolution. They're the figures of a league still finding its footing. Yet here she was, and here's the part that nobody saw coming. While Reese's games struggled to fill seats, Caitlyn Clark was rewriting the economics of the WNBA. Clark didn't need to proclaim her impact. The numbers did it for her. Her homecoming game at Iowa's Carver-Hawkeye Arena sold out in 45 minutes with 15,000 seats snatched up faster than you can say three-pointer. Ticket prices for her preseason games averaged over $600. Yes, you read that right. For exhibition basketball, that's not just a record, it's a seismic shift in how the sport is valued. Teams playing against the fever were forced to move their home games to larger NBA arenas just to accommodate the demand, a phenomenon never seen for Ray or any other player in the league's history. And the merchandise Clark's jersey became the second best-selling in all of basketball in 2024, trailing only Steph Curry, while Reese didn't even crack the top 10. The Fever's Now You Know campaign, centered around Clark, turned every game into a must-watch event with tour-style t-shirts proclaiming every game is a home game. The message was clear: Clark wasn't just a player, she was a movement. But what happens next is truly insane. While Ray was dodging questions and grappling with lackluster attendance, the Chicago Sky dropped a bombshell that sent shockwaves through the basketball world. New head coach Tyler Marsh announced a radical shift in the team's offensive strategy, one that would fundamentally alter Reese's role. Gone was the paint-dominating rebound, snatching forward who'd built her brand on double-doubles. In her place, the Sky envisioned a stretch for a versatile player capable of stepping away from the basket, taking mid-range jumpers, and spacing the floor. And just when you thought it couldn't get wilder, the centerpiece of this new offense wasn't Ray. It was Camila Cardoso, the Brazilian sensation whose size, finesse, and untapped potential made her the Sky's new focal point. This wasn't a tweak, it was a complete overhaul. And Reese's absence from training camp in the wake of the news only intensified the drama. Let's be real, Reese's identity as a player has always been tied to her dominance in the paint. From her LSU days to her rookie season, she snatched rebounds with a ferocity that felt personal, racking up double-doubles that fueled her rise to stardom. Her 19-rebound performance against Indiana in her second pro game went viral, cementing her as a force to be reckoned with. But the Sky's new blueprint asks her to abandon the very thing that made her a household name: mid-range jumpers, catch and shoot opportunities. This is uncharted territory for a player whose career field goal percentage hovers at a troubling 39.1%, mostly on shots near the rim. Her shot release is slow, her mechanics clunky, and asking her to stretch the floor is like asking a sprinter to run a marathon. The real reason behind this will blow your mind. The Sky aren't just trying to evolve Reese's game, they're future-proofing their franchise for a league that demands versatility. And here's where things go completely off the rails. While Reese's role was being rewritten, Cardoso was handed the keys to the paint, the very space Ray had owned. Cardoso, with her softer touch, better spacing, and global appeal, represents a bankable star in the making. The optics are brutal. Just days after Cardoso made headlines squaring off against her national team, she was anointed the Sky's new cornerstone. Fans took to social media in a frenzy, accusing the Sky of orchestrating a campaign to dismantle Reese's legacy and prop up Cardoso. Conspiracy theories multiplied, with some claiming the move was a deliberate attempt to erase Reese's record-setting rebounding streak before it could define her wnba career. But here's what they're not telling you: this isn't about favoritism, it's about basketball. The modern WNBA demands forwards who can shoot, create offense, and move the ball. Reese's one-dimensional game, rebound, put back, repeat, is a liability against defenses that clog the paint and dare her to shoot. The tension is palpable, and Reese's silence speaks louder than any press conference. Could her absence from training camp isn't just a scheduling quirk, it's a statement. Most elite athletes would see a role change as a challenge, a chance to expand their game and silence doubters. But Reese's reaction suggests she views it as a betrayal, a theft of the identity she's worked so hard to build. And you'll never guess how it ends. The growing chorus of fans calling for her to demand a trade is gaining traction. They don't deserve you, Angel. One user wrote on X, "Get out of Chicago." It's the kind of drama that thrives in the echo chambers of social media, where nuance is drowned out by outrage. But let's be brutally honest. Reese's refusal to adapt could define her career more than any stat line ever will. Meanwhile, Caitlyn Clark continues to elevate the WNBA without a single word of self-promotion. Her games draw over 1 million viewers consistently, her jersey sales rival NBA legends, and her impact is so undeniable that the Fever's 41 nationally televised games this season outpace even the Los Angeles Lakers. Clark doesn't just fill arenas. She forces the league to rethink its infrastructure, with teams upgrading facilities and expanding marketing to capitalize on her star power. The Fever's strategy is a masterclass in leveraging talent. They've surrounded Clark with veterans like Sophie Cunningham and Nenisha Howard, building a roster designed to win now, not in 3 years. Cunningham's comparison of Clark to a young Diana Taurasi, spicier, flashier, and more dangerous, underscores the kind of star power that doesn't need a press conference to prove itself, and that's just scratching the surface. The contrast between the Sky and the Fever is stark. While Indiana has gone on Clark, transforming from a lottery team to must-see TV in a single year, Chicago seems uncertain about Reese's place in their future. Is she the cornerstone, a marketing asset, just another player? The Sky passive approach, no aggressive moves to surround Reese with complementary talent, no clear vision for her role, stands in sharp contrast to the Fever's calculated gamble. And here's why this matters to you. This isn't just a story about two players, it's a window into how organizations harness star power, how they balance hype with results, and how quickly a narrative can shift when the numbers don't add up. So what's next for Angel Reese? Does she embrace the challenge, overhaul her game, and prove she's more than a rebounding machine? Or does she lean into the drama, demand a trade, and chase a fresh start elsewhere? The choice is hers, but the stakes couldn't be higher. This moment will define not just her career, but the broader conversation about player autonomy and evolution in the WNBA. And by the end of this, you'll understand why this is so important, as the Sky prepare to face the Fever on May 17, 2025, in a matchup billed as the Ali Frazier of our generation. All eyes will be on Reese and Clark, not just for what they do on the court, but for what their paths reveal about the future of women's basketball. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like, share, and subscribe to our YouTube channel for more.